What's up YouTube? Derek here from DW Designs. Today we're going to be going over some welding and how I fabricated and put together this pre-made bumper that you can buy online. But when you buy them, they have to be welded together because they ship them in really small packages for weight and cost effectiveness. So this is a Lexus bumper that I am currently working on, and this was brought to me by a customer of mine who needed it welded, and he wanted a good welder. And he actually, the guy who referred me to this guy, actually met me at a restaurant and noticed I was talking about fabricating and stuff like that. So he asked me, and it's a small world after all, as they would say, and now I got the job. So without further more to do, I'm going to show you guys exactly what I'm doing and kind of how I put it together. So as you can see here, we have this bumper here all tacked up on the bench. I did weld it this morning, but I'll get into that. So anyway, what you want to do is when you start out with a bumper like this, you should read the instructions, get a feel for what it's going to look like when it's done, and don't be afraid to just up and tackle it. So what we did is we tacked it all together, and then we fit it on the car. Don't tack it together and then weld it and then expect it to fit on the car. No. Never do that, because what will happen is if you do that, there's a small possibility something needs to be moved, and then you can't just zap the tacks off and then you're done. You have to quite literally cut the whole weld and probably even make a new piece, or worse come to worse, you've ruined the whole bumper. So only tack weld and then fit on the car. I had it on and off the car at least 5 times, at least. And I had to move a bunch of stuff under the car. I'd take plastic off, all these other different things that I wasn't accounting for. So I'm glad that I didn't weld it, because I actually did have to move it. And one of the pieces I actually had to move was this piece right here. This piece needed to be moved just a little bit. Not much, but enough. Enough for that subtle detail that makes the world of difference. And all I had to do was move it like a 1/16 of an inch. That was it. Very, very little, but enough to notice. And I'm very picky about how things come out. I don't know about you guys, but I am, and I like to do quality work. That's because that's just who I am. So, on the other note, now as you're tacking this up, at least one of the things I was taught was you always want to leave about 50-50. Okay, so as you can see here, there's actually a 50-50 overlap there. And what that's going to do is allow, when you are with the TIG torch, when you have it at an angle there, you're actually melting upper and lower and the middle all together as you're dabbing the filler wire in there. So therefore you're getting like quadruple the amount of penetration and strength when you weld it all together. Now, whether they intended this bumper to be that way, I don't know. They didn't say that specifically in the instructions, but I did it anyway for my own insurance, and it actually came out perfect. So I'm assuming they already compensated for that when they laser cut or plasma cutted these things out on a CNC machine. So that's how I did that. And then, as you can see here, I've started to weld the inside. Started to weld all the inside pieces. And I did this here this morning. Dropping some nice little dimes in there. And doing the insides as well. Did the flat plate there. And the reason why I'm starting on the inside first is because everything's going to want to pull in. And the fact that I left enough room on there that it can pull in slightly, and it's not going to affect anything at all, because I've encountered for that. So I do know that it's going to pull, you know, because metal wants to pull or push in certain ways when you weld it. So therefore, not a problem there. So I already got all that set up, ready to go. And as far as this thing goes, like I said, I started welding it today. And it's coming out very, very nice so far. I only have Eastwood TIG 200. It only goes up to 200 amps, which is a lot, but at the same time, not enough. For this bumper here, 200 amps is borderline pushing it for penetration. I like to get full penetration, not necessarily all the way through completely, but you know, a good solid penetration all the way in there, so that way it's nice and strong. And not only that, when you buy this TIG welder, it's great, but it comes with a 150 rating torch. So the torch is rated for 150 amps, but the TIG welder will do 200 amps. So you can only weld for about 5 to 10 minutes on the 150 amp before your hand is just on fire and you want to let go of it the whole time, which is not necessarily a good thing, but it works, it gets the job done. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. This welder is a great welder. I've had it for a little over 2 years now, closer to 3. I know it says Snap-on there, but my friend plastered a bunch of stickers on it when he was here one day, just as a joke. But I've left them there ever since. But it's got all the functions. It's got AC, DC, stick. You can even do spot welding. You can set pulse. You can do HF, which is high frequency start, or lift, which is when you set the TIG torch down, press the pedal down, and then as soon as you lift up, it starts the arc. And then you got T2 and T4, which is your either your foot pedal or your little trigger for the torch. That thing works out pretty good. Other than that, really no complaints about that welder. The only other complaint that I can possibly think of about this welder is the foot pedal. I don't like the foot pedal. Here's why. When I was in school about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, learning how to weld, we all had millers in there. That's all that was there. And the sensitivity of the pedals from the miller is so great that you can make micro adjustments in the amperage with your foot. And pulsing, you can pulse all day with no breeze at all. Just do it. Problem is with this foot pedal that I don't like is it's so delayed. Yes, does it work? Yes, does it act like it's supposed to? Yes, but it's not super responsive, and I like super responsive. So if that's not what you're looking for, then it'll be just good for you. So other than that's it. This welder is worth your money otherwise. And not only that, 90% of the time I use the machine pulser since I don't like the foot pedal, and it works out perfect. I mean, it works beautifully. I mean, look. I mean, beautiful dimes. I mean, you can't get much better than that. So with that being said, that's it. So anyway, hope you guys stay tuned. Please give a like and subscribe, and please do me a favor and hit that bell if you want to get any notifications that I post another video. And let's get the ball rolling, guys. I'll post another video when it's all done, and we'll be sending it out for powder coat. So until then, you guys have a good one.